Linda Reyes' federal prison term. Here you go. Flying right over the apartment while I'm taking pictures of the fake sun that's still here after 4 p.m. That's the Ontario Police and Mike Lorenz's removal from law enforcement. And he's keeping me under surveillance while the demon in unit number 55 is stalking in the path right here. This is where amplified noise is happening. This is where the fake sun is at 4:04 p.m. yesterday evening. This is called stalking in the path while a demon is in position accessing the trunk. That's called crossing path while a demon is driving south on Vine Avenue. This is what the people in all of these apartments are sharing engagement in. And this is while the demons listen to me expose law enforcement this morning on my podcast, Engaging in Federal Stalking. There's no coincidences here, especially when the fake sun is still here from sunrise until sunset. And that's exactly why they're going to federal prison, such as Corey Watson, Jason Knighton's going to federal prison, the entity that's engaging in what is gang stalking by police departments. And this is exposing the mentally ill that are a part of law enforcement. This is exactly what gang stalking looks like. These are demons who are monitoring. They were doing so at what is 8:49 in the morning on May 8th, P.O.C. All right, and this is not helping Linda Reyes. Linda Reyes is going to federal prison. They just concluded what Linda Reyes is doing and who she's doing it with. And the entity is doing so while they are aware of the fact that they're being documented for domestic terrorism in the United States. They're doing this at 5:57 in the afternoon under the fake sun that's still over this apartment building. They're doing so at what is 8:49 in the morning while this fake sun is over this same apartment building, like I documented Linda Reyes gang stalking under, and the Ontario Police arrive moments later, and that's through perceptible means because they're always present, engaging in surveillance, monitoring my vagina. That's why the law enforcement of Ontario Police are being disbanded. This is the gang stalking demons who engaged in repeated acts of kidnapping. And they are providing evidence against the people of the state at Woodside who are going to prison. This is Daryl J. Carter's problem. He's going to be prosecuted. This is a facilitating venue. That's called crossing paths. She's gang stalking with the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department at 12:37 in the afternoon while the fake sun is right here. She is doing the same thing while I'm documenting the entity gang stalking under the fake sun, like I just documented HD Supply under the fake sun in the morning. This is not sunlight, where the Ontario Police Department are stalking in a helicopter. And they're doing so with the people of the state. The government is engaging in what is criminal conduct in concert with the people of the state, and flying over my head is an unlawful threat by a corrupt law enforcement agent. And this is exactly what Michael Moore is documented engaging in. This is exactly what the former chief of the San Bernardino Police Department on October 3rd, 2019, like you heard me documenting, evidence that this same gang stalking entity stole while engaging in this sort of egregious terrorism, and then seeking to, don't forget what the Ontario Police Department simultaneously did while gang stalking and psychologically torturing, stealing evidence of it, and also criminally defaming in order to kidnap. That's why demons like Jason Knighton, Corey Watson, Eric Corey Spencer, gang stalking with that police department, Tracy Banks, the demons inside of this building, they're going to federal prison. That malice is clear on its face while you see the police departments engage in what is a wealth of evidence, very direct and obvious and plain, with regard to demon possession and malicious criminal activity. The entity is doing so with knowledge pursuant to federal stalking that they're engaging in. And this is the inability of the demon possessed to control themselves. If you'll recall, on April 8, 2025, at 3:01 p.m., the entity is flying in the same manner that you just saw with the fake sun in the same position while I'm at this same exact location at 3:01 in the afternoon. This is the demons of the Ontario Police Department showing the world what demon possession looks like and why the demon possessed, which is becoming legally relevant because the government is practicing a satanic targeting system, which is identified in an environment where the sun is not going to be at what is 10:57 in the morning over the same location like it is where the Ontario Police flies right over my head right here at 3:01 p.m. with knowledge of who I am and what I'm documenting. And the sun is never going to be in an environment where it's rising at 7:21 in the morning and it's still over the same property at what is 10:58 a.m. This is not simultaneously in a natural environment over me at Alvarado Gardens in Los Angeles, where I'm documenting the Los Angeles Police Department engaging in the same behavioral pattern of harassment and targeting, also with knowledge, simultaneity with regard to what I'm documenting about them on my communication device in that supernatural environment. Those are demons that lack self-control, and they certainly have no legal strategy. The Paul Leon is being removed from office in the same way that Karen Bass shall not remain in office, acting in furtherance of trying to murder and kidnap me, falsely depict my character by gang stalking me in hundreds of videos and helicopter associated to both departments. This is speaking to what is necessarily being placed in federal prison, being placed in mental asylums, and also being disbanded as corrupt police departments. This is an act of retaliation while Eric Spencer and Tracy Banks, which you hear on the podcast, are monitoring me together. I'm capturing impossible light activity, and the demons of the Ontario Police, Mike Lorenz and Derek Derek Williams were engaging in the same pattern for years. This is the airport that's engaged in gang stalking. This is the police department engaged in gang stalking. This is Michael Gherkin's fire department, the demon-possessed fire chief engaged in gang stalking. You see them under the fake sun that's here after 12 o'clock in the afternoon, right over me. That's called amplified audible activity and engineered light. That's not the sun. It's right here at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. This is the prosecution of the state. All right, and they're all sex offenders monitoring my vagina in this bathroom inside of this apartment as well, while the Ontario Police Department are again failing in an endeavor to secretly target someone in the United States, and just gave the blueprint for why gang stalking police officers shall be permanently removed from law enforcement and placed in federal prison. It is currently 10:59 a.m. This is P.O.C. Everybody in units 33 to 64, these two buildings, they're going to prison for what the Ontario Police Department just did on video. P.O.C. Let me show you this impossible light that has nothing to do with the fake sun that's outside of the apartment. Engaging in documented acts of retaliation like the Ontario Police Department just did is what is speaking to the gang stalking by the people of the state. The demon in Unit 55 is creating ongoing amplified noise while engineered light is inexplicable on the ceiling that has nothing to do with the sun. It's not reflecting off of objects through the closed window where there's engineered light creating two shadows of my hand outside, and then also piercing through closed blinds with window coverings, and it's reflecting off of someone. It has nothing to do with the fake sun. This is stalking with light, and the Ontario Police Department just demonstrated what stalking with light looks like. They're monitoring. This is engineered light. This is all engineered light that's framing the front door. The Ontario Police Department, Mike Lorenz, in the same way that Derek Williams and the Ontario Police Department, as I documented from 2018 to 2022, are engaged in the criminal system of domestic terrorism, which is underway through corrupt law enforcement agencies in the state of California, and that's what's happening in this country. And engaging in what is trying to terrorize in order to silence me, these slow learning, inept, violent, sociopathic demons and violent sex offenders resort to all that they know, and I document their only tactic: gang stalking and helicopters. And that spectacular evidence is covering my my YouTube channel and my website, where I'm going to document and also literally provide a tutorial for recognizing domestic terrorism in the United States. The people of the state are going to federal prison. Linda Reyes is going to federal prison. The Ontario Police Department did this at 8:49 in the morning on May 8th, 2025 as a criminal act of retaliation because I'm documenting that sex offender. She's going to federal prison, and this is indeed Daryl J. Carter and AVANATH Capital Management's problem, civilly and criminally. This is P.O.C.